What is up and welcome back, guys. Today's topic is going to be how to decenter the opposite or same sex from your life, because a lot of people on the internet, I believe, need it. If you've ever seen like Baywatch or you just on TikTok in general, they obsess over the opposite sex, and I see this with a lot of women especially. A lot of this demographic is mostly women, where it's like the FBI spying, where, you know, they'll do like the transition where they're like whole type of MIB kind of setup, and then it'll be like the exes, and there's the I'm obsessed with him, I don't know what to do. There's the he's left me undelivered and now I'm super happy because he's texted back. And then it's vice versa for men. I see it as more of like a, you know, there's no woman out there for me, I'm gonna become an incel, like things of that nature. Like, these are the types of videos on TikTok that I'm talking about. Honestly, these actions that I see from people, they're not bad people, because the things that they're doing especially like are understandable. We live in a culture where like we see movies, we see TV shows, we see music, crushes, obsession, they garner like such emotion and brings life. Now obviously understandable does not mean condonable. If somebody is being like manipulative, they're being toxic, they're committing crimes essentially, then it's a bad thing. And then I would say that's somebody going, oh yeah, they did this thing, but it was out of love. So these strong emotions, they can let that person pass. I don't believe in that. This video is for the people who are not toxic, but they find themselves not decentering the opposite sex or the same sex from their life. They find themselves putting people up on a pedestal, but then it ends up deteriorating their own self-esteem, their own mental health, their own whatever it takes for them to be like, okay, this is a problem and I want to stop it. So yeah, guys, without further ado, if there's no further objections, let's start with the video. So the main idea of decentralization especially is knowing what is the idea of the person and what is the actual person themselves. This is the driving factor of what will help you decenter those people from your life. The idea of the person and the actual person philosophy means your imagination right here is wild. You are going to think up situations with this person, you're going to think up what they think about, you're going to think about what they look like, what they're going to look like in the future, even though you've literally just met them. Because you're essentially a rocket ship. You've met this person, they're cute, they're really handsome when you talk to them, they're really funny, da-da-da-da, and it's all fuel for this rocket, and then all of a sudden it just goes, like within seconds, just goes psh. Then you're up in the universe of thinking what your kids are gonna look like. But you're thinking like all these things, but you've just met this person, or you've only been acquainted with this person for a little while. The thing is, you don't know this person, you know, especially if you're newly acquainted with them, because somewhere down the line, you're going to figure something out. You're going to talk to this person, you're going to talk to that person, you're going to talk to their ex. Like, you're going to figure something out, and then you are going to realize, oh my god, they're a horrible person. And I'm not saying this happens every single time, but it's very possible because, like I said, you don't know the person. I remember especially, like, I really liked this guy when I was in my senior year of high school. Really liked him, you know, I thought he was really great. I was like, oh my god, I've never met somebody like this great before. But then I figured out some stuff. I talked to this person, talked to that person, even met their ex, and now I think, oh my god, thank god that I stopped liking this person and didn't pursue even a friendship with them, because the things I found out were mortifying. And I hope to god that the things that people have told me about this guy specifically were not true, or that if they were true, that he's, you know, actively trying to become a better person. Like, just some of that. But in any case, like, I didn't know, and I'd put myself in like some dangerous situations because of this guy. And I'm not saying I did anything illegal, I'm not trying to self-incriminate, but yeah, I'd done things that I would have never normally done, and that could have put me in so much danger in the terms of my mental health. This is the type of situation that I'm talking about. You do not know the type of person that this person is just because you've met them 2-3 times, and you're seeing like, you're seeing like a fantasy self, not even a fantasy self, like a mask, right? You know, we put on our best mask for people and then slowly they come off the more comfortable we become with somebody. Or they're really good with the mask and you eventually find out through people like who they actually are. And I'm not saying that every single person that you've had a crush on is just this horrible person who's putting up this facade and eventually they're gonna just betray everybody and da-da-da-da. I'm not saying that specifically. They could be great people, but the thing is that maybe they're really bad with communication. Maybe you imagine this fantasy boy or this fantasy girl being so good with communication. They communicate with you with everything. They're the best communicator ever. And then in reality, let's just say that you guys end up getting together, then they could be horrible at communication. They could be just like dog awful at it. And that is exactly why, which leads me into the second tip, the second part of this, which is going to be that I want you to say this affirmation, right? I want you to like actively think this. I want you to actively sink this into your conscious that if I don't get him or her, I am getting something better. This is especially great if you believe that they are the best person you've ever met, the best person you've ever had in your life, because before that, you couldn't fathom something better. Maybe you had another crush before that and you're like, oh my god, this is the best boy or girl. But then you meet this person and you're like, no, wait, this is the best boy or girl. But then guess what? That person eventually is not going to be the best because you're going to meet another person that is the best boy or girl. So really, when you think about it being the worst possible scenario is that I get this person, but the best possible scenario is that there is something better, then you really can't lose, right? Because then you realize, okay, you know, I'm gonna get a better person, and then I encourage you to like write down what specifically you want in a man or woman, and then you can dream about that fantasy man or woman, no matter who it is, because you can be like, oh, you know, there's this crush, but then there's this like fantasy man who I already know is going to be great because eventually I'm gonna meet him and he's gonna be so hot, or she. And you're going to think about like that person that you are eventually going to meet, that person that eventually you're going to attract in your life, and then it'll be like, I don't know if this person's it. I don't know if this person's all that. Maybe they'll be all that. Maybe they'll be this person, but if they're not, I'm getting something better anyway, so why stress? This affirmation is not just for woman to men or man to woman or person to person. Like, it works because you believe that the worst possible scenario is you get them or you get something better. Somebody else turns out to be your fantasy person, and maybe that person, this crush of yours, is your fantasy person, like I said, but they have to prove it to you. They have to prove to you that you are the fantasy person, and you're not going to pressure them. You're going to be like, you know what? If you like me, you're going to come to me, okay? And I am going to pursue you, but if you don't recognize that I am trying to pursue you or you don't like me, then I know, not that you're a bad person, but I guess that means I'm just getting something better. So, sorry, Pookie. When I implemented this like affirmation strategy and like knowing the differences between the idea of somebody and the actual person into my own life, I saw no other God other than me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's what I especially did to help myself decenter other people. And I believe that when it's taught to other people, I can hope that, you know, you find value in this video as well. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for like 1,000 views, by the way. I think it's like almost to 2,000 views as well. My second to last video. Just thank you so much. And the fact that I get like these comments saying that these advice videos help, like, this was my mission. When I wanted to start YouTube, I was like, I want to help people in the way that I wish somebody were to help me, you know, especially through, like, these other videos that I've watched, too. I mean, just thank you. Like, I'm gonna cry. I'm just kidding, but just know that I am so grateful for you guys, and I hope you have a good morning, day, or night, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. So, peace. Oh.